So no man of the Trojans could help Isus and Antiphus, for they were themselves flying in panic before the Argives. Then King Agamemnon took the two sons of Antimachus, Pisander and brave Hippolochus. It was Antimachus who had been foremost in preventing Helen's being restored to Menelaus, for he was largely bribed by Paris. And now Agamemnon took his two sons, both in the same chariot, trying to bring their horses to a stand, for they had lost hold of the reins, and the horses were mad with fear. The son of Atreus sprang upon them like a lion, and the pair besought him from their chariot. Take us alive, they cried, son of Atreus, and you shall receive a great ransom for us. Our father, Antimachus, has great store of gold and bronze and wrought iron, and from this he will satisfy you with a very large ransom, should he hear of our being alive at the ships of the Achaeans. With such piteous words and tears that they beseeched the king, but they heard no pitiful answer in return. If, said Agamemnon, you are sons of Antimachus, who once at council of Trojans proposed that Menelaus and Odysseus, who had come to you as envoys, should be killed and not suffered to return, you shall now pay for the foul iniquity of your father. As he spoke, he felled Pisander from the chariot to the earth, smiting him on the chest with his spear, so that he lay face uppermost upon the ground. Hippolochus fled, but him too did Agamemnon smite. He cut off his hands and his head, which he sent rolling in among the crowd, as though it were a ball. There he let them both lie, and wherever the ranks were thickest, thither he flew, while other Achaeans followed. Foot soldiers drove the foot soldiers of the foe in rout before them, and slew them. Horsemen did the like by horsemen, and the thundering tramp of the horses raised a cloud of dust from off the plain. King Agamemnon followed after, ever slaying them, cheering on the Achaeans, as when some mighty forest is all ablaze, the eddying gusts whirl fire in all directions, till the thickets shrivel and are consumed before the blast of a flame. Even so fell the heads of the flying Trojans before Agamemnon, son of Atreus. Many a noble pair whose steeds drew an empty chariot among the highway of war, for lack of drivers who were lying on the plain, more useful now to vultures than to their wives. Zeus drew Hector away from the darts and dust with the carnage and din of battle, but the son of Atreus sped onwards, calling out lustily to the Denalians, that flew on by tone of Olympus, son of Dardanus, in the middle of the plain, and passed the place of the wild fig tree, making a ways for the city. The son of Atreus still shouting, with hands all bedrabbled in gore, but when they had reached the snaking gates and oak tree there, they halted and waited for others to come up. Meanwhile, the Trojans kept on flying over the middle of the plain like a herd of cows maddened with fright. When a lion has attacked them in the dead of night, he springs on one of them, seizes her neck in the grip of his strong teeth, and then laps up her blood and gorges himself upon her entrails. Even so did King Agamemnon, son of Atreus, pursue the foe, ever slaughtering the hindmost as they fled, pell-mell before him. Many as a man was flung headlong from his chariot by the hand of the son of Atreus, for he wielded his spear with fury. But when he was just about to reach the high wall in the city, the father of the gods and men came down from heaven and took his seat, thunderbolt in hand, the crest of many fountain Ida. He then told Iris of the golden wings to carry a message for him. Go, said he, fleet Iris, and speak thus to Hector. Say that so long as he sees Agamemnon heading his men and making havoc of the Trojan ranks, he is to keep aloof and bid the others bear the brunt of the battle. But when Agamemnon is wounded by either by a spear or arrow, he takes to his chariot. Then will I vouchsafe him strength to slay till he reach the ships and nightfalls at the going down of the sun. Iris hearkened and obeyed. Down she went to strong Ilium from the crest of Ida, and found Hector, son of Priam, standing by his chariot and horses. And then she said, Hector, son of Priam, peer of gods and council, Father Zeus has sent me to bear you this message. So long as you see Agamemnon heading his men and making havoc of the Trojan ranks, you are to keep aloof and bid the others bear the brunt of the battle. But when Agamemnon is wounded either by spear or arrow and takes to his chariot, then will Zeus vouchsafe you strength to slay till you reach the ships, until night falls as the going down of the sun. When she had thus spoken, Iris left him, and Hector sprang full armed from his chariot to the ground, brandishing his spear as he went about everywhere among the host, cheering his men on to fight and steering the dread strife of battle. The Trojans then wheeled round and again met Achaeans, while Argives on their part strengthened their battalions. The battle was now in array. They stood face to face with one another, Agamemnon ever pressing forward in his eagerness to be ahead of all others. Tell me now, ye muses that dwell in the mansions of Olympus, who, whether of the Trojans or their allies, was first to face Agamemnon. It was Ephidamas, son of Anator, a man both brave and of great stature, who was brought up in fertile Thrace, the mother of sheep. Sisyphus, his mother's father, brought him up in his own house when he was a child. Sisyphus' father to fair Theano. When he reached manhood, Sisyphus would have kept him there and was for giving him his daughter in marriage. But as soon as he had married, he set out to fight the Achaeans with the 12 ships that followed him. These he had left at Percote, and had come on by land Ilium. He it was that now met Agamemnon, son of Atreus. When they were close up with one another, the son of Atreus missed his aim, and Ephidamas hit him on the girdle below the cuirass, and then flung himself upon him. Trusting to his strength of arm, the girdle, however, was not pierced, or nearly so, for the point of the spear struck against the silver and was turned aside as though it had been lead. King Agamemnon caught it from his hand and drew it towards him with the fury of a lion. He then drew his sword and killed Iphidamas by striking him on the neck. So there the poor fellow lay, sleeping a sleep as it were of bronze, killed in the defense of his fellow citizens, far from the wedded wife, of whom he had no joy. Though he had given much for her, he had given 100 head of cattle down, and had promised later on to give 1,000 sheep and goats mixed from the countless flocks of which he had was possessed. Agamemnon, the son of Atreus, then despoiled him, and carried off his armor into the host of the Achaeans. When noble Coon, Anator's eldest son, saw this, sore indeed were his eyes at the sight of his fallen brother. Unseen by Agamemnon, he got beside him, spear in hand, wounded him in the middle of his arm, below the elbow, and points of spear going right through the arm. Agamemnon was convulsed with pain, but still not even for this did he leave off struggling and fighting, but grasped the spear that flew as fleet as the wind, and sprang upon Coon, who was trying to drag off the body of his brother, his father's son, by the foot, and was crying for help to all the bravest of his comrades. But Agamemnon struck him with a bronze-shod spear and killed him as he was dragging the dead body through the press of men under cover of the shield. He then cut off his head, standing over the body of Hippodamus. Thus did the sons of Hanator meet their fate at the hands of the sons of Atreus, and go down into the house of Hades. As long as the blood still welled warm from his wound, Agamemnon went about attacking the ranks of the enemy with spear and sword with great handfuls of stone. But when the blood had ceased to flow, and the wound grew dry, the pain became great, as the sharp pangs which the Elithio, goddesses of childbirth, daughters of Hera, and dispensers of cruel pain, send upon a woman when she is in labor, even so sharp were the pangs of the son of Atreus. He sprang on to his chariot, and bade his charioteer drive to the ships, for he was in great agony. With a loud, clear voice, he shouted to the Danaans, "My friends, princes, and counselors of the Argives, defend the ships yourselves, for Zeus has not suffered me to fight the whole day through against the Trojans."